So, I talk all the time about the fact that on a plane, you put your own oxygen mask on first. And I have not coined this phrase. This is a well-known thought process that basically means when it comes to self-care, we all seem to just think it's heroic to deprioritize ourselves. And let me tell you this, it is not. It is not big, it is not clever, it is not sensible, and it is certainly not useful or helpful to put yourself at the bottom of the pile. And this is something I always come back to. And I am not perfect. I can slide and spin, like I just recorded the video for you about spinning. Like the rest of you, I am only human. But what I have worked on, what I have managed to make part of my thought process is catching myself quicker. And when I became a coach and I realised that self-care predominantly was super important, and when you become a mother especially, but this is not specific to mothers, but I'm only talking about my experience. For instance, we are just so good at not prioritising ourselves. We put everybody else in the household first. So partners, kids, pets, in-laws, parents, siblings, whatever, whoever, we put everybody else first because we think, we play the martyr, we come last, and we think that's kind of what we should do. Is it, I don't know, is it what we'd be conditioned to do? So when I first became a coach, I met a little resistance to how I very quickly came to realise that in order to keep myself really functioning as the very best for my clients, for how I showed up for them, and not just for my clients, but how I showed up for me, how I managed to take a step back, and then the ideas would come. And it's so easy to be in spin and to think that we're in the busy. So when we're busy, nothing else can come in because we are so in the doing. We're not in the receiving mode of the ideas, of the opportunities, of the big breaks. We just can't see them, even if they were right in front of us. So I quickly realised where I'd been going wrong, and I was really lucky to have picked the most amazing coach who really embodied how, especially as women, when we put ourselves first, we really get into our feminine energy. And feminine energy is not female exclusive. Male energy, again, is not something that just men feel. Masculine and feminine energy is something both men and women need. And when we can both embrace them, that is where the magic happens. And when we can also get really clear on when do we need more of our feminine energy to be running the show, and when do we need to really get into our masculine energy. Because whilst you'll hear me talking so much about feminine energy and how it helps us get into flow and into receiving mode, there also comes a time where the masculine energy of the doing, of the taking action, is super important. Because if we don't take action on our thoughts and our plans and our visions that come to us when we're in our feminine space, nothing will actually come to fruition. So it's about curating this incredible balance. So going back to what I came on here to talk to you about, which is the fact that, like I say, on a plane, they say put your own oxygen mask on first. And the analogy is particularly relevant to women in that even if you had a baby on your lap, what they say is you can't help your baby if you can't breathe. So if you are failing, you can't help your baby or your children. And so the thought process is the same. If you are not putting yourself at the top of the pile, you cannot serve not only your family, your immediate loved ones, your friends, you can't serve your clients to the best of your ability. And this isn't also an or, it's an and. You can put yourself first and you can serve everybody else. You can enjoy a higher level of self-care and you can enjoy more family time, better communication, and create better relationships with your clients. You can show up in a more holistic, grounded, centered, focused way in every area of your life. And then I was on a call with a client the other day, and this is when I always get my brainstorms, and I have these post-it notes, like I literally have my desk scattered. Like this is normal, so I then take notes, and look, this is what I've got. They're everywhere. And this is just the entrepreneurial brain. I do not make this wrong. I used to, I don't anymore. I just get this is how I work. And so I wrote on this particular post-it note, turbulence in flight. It's a bumpy flight. So this goes back to change and spinning, like the video I recorded you earlier. So we have to get really good at feeling uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because it's a bit like turbulence in flight. Typically, fingers crossed, we know it's going to pass. It's just a bumpy part of the flight, but the flight is going to a destination. And when we can just learn to embrace these slight bumps in the road, knowing that we are still connected to our purpose, specifically in business, I'm talking about that in this example, when we have a goal and we know we are still showing up day after day after day, we are putting in the work, we are connected, we are so intrinsically linked to the purpose, then we have the strength to hit a bump in the road, and rather than think, again, going into spin, thinking that everything's just going to come crashing down, it's the beginning of the end, it's Chicken Little running around and the sky is falling in, when we can just dial back to, this is just in-flight turbulence. We are on a journey. We are on a path. We have directions. We are going somewhere. And sometimes you can't predict the turbulence, and it can be super friggin' bumpy. But we always get there. 99.9999 whatever percent of the time, we get there. And so it came about, we were talking about, putting your oxygen mask on first, and I was like, but this is exactly the same. We can use the plane analogy again. Bumpy, in-flight turbulence. It's just the whole personal growth path. If it was easy, everyone would do it. If it was easy, everyone would want to put in the work as to how you develop your mindset, how you, bluntly speaking, live a better life, how you become available to live a better life. But like I say to my clients, if it was easy, and I just said everybody would do it, but it's also not rocket science. And it's just about knowing that when you're connected, when you are really dialed in, that even though a bumpy path might come, you are still going to get there. It's just, we aren't so good at accepting that the road can be like that sometimes, that it's not that we should expect bumps in the road, it's just that we should be able to accept them as part of our journey. Because when you're in a plane, you don't question the turbulence. You just know it might happen, and you'll get over it. Okay, it might be scary, it might be a little jittery, but you're going to get through it. So this was another one of my notes that I wrote to you. There's just something about these analogies that makes me break it down. It's a way of me making it real. There's so many areas in life where we can make comparisons, and when we do, it makes it all the more understandable, I think. It also helps me break it down for my kids, and because they love this kind of chatter with me, and it also really helps me to speak to clients in this way, in that I process it better when I can break it down to something more tangible. Because we just future trip, we just go off on this path where we start just spiraling and spinning, like I recorded the video for you. And so how about getting really comfortable with feeling uncomfortable? Because if you got on a plane, say Barbados is a bumpy ride down there. It's a typical turbulent flight. I remember speaking to a Virgin, not travel agent, the people that come to the hotel, and she said she'd been to Barbados, I think like 26 times before she actually moved there. And she said, it's a bumpy ride. It's always turbulent. So what if every time you were going on holiday, say, you knew that the flight was going to be turbulent, but you were going to get there safely, you were going to arrive, it was just part of it. You would tackle it differently. You wouldn't be scared. You would accept this is just part of the path. We'll get through it. It will be over soon, because this too shall pass. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope you like it. Like I say, it's just the reason I use these examples is to almost take ourselves out of our own heads. Like we get so in our own heads, we get so bogged down with the detail. So it's about making it non-academic in my head. This is about, guys, it's really simple. Like seriously, if you're getting on a plane and I said to you, every time you go to this gorgeous island, you're going to get some turbulence, but you're going to get there. And it's just all part of it. You'd be like, fine. So let's not make the bumps in the road, the turbulence in flight on our business journey a thing. Let's just, I don't want to say expect it, but let's just make it part of sometimes what happens. And we will always grow and we will always learn in these spaces because the gifts are there. Like I said to you, it's about looking and being aware of, what is this telling me? What is the greater knowledge here? What is this opportunity showing me? Because this is how I want you to think, that these are opportunities for more awareness. These are opportunities to learn and to grow. These are opportunities to look at your business, your life, and think, okay, so I need to pay more attention here because I wasn't paying enough. But if I just up the ante on more focus here, this is going to get me to the next level. It's about taking responsibility for, what am I not seeing? What am I not aware of? And if you speak to the universe, whenever I'm walking the dog, I walk along, and if anyone was behind me, they would hear me nattering away to myself saying, show me, what am I not seeing? What do I not have the vision of yet? Show me what I need to see to take the next step. Create the awareness for me. Give me a sign. I'll talk to you about signs again. I'm going to make a note. Talk to Instagram about signs, because for those of you that are Gabby Bernstein fans, there is so much in signs. And last year I posted a whole thing. There was a time just before my retreat in November, I was having the retreat at the Pig, and I was asking for some signs about some guidance. And so I picked the Pig. And it was ironic because the minute I did, I saw it on a number plate. I saw it in a house, like a pig statue in a house I was shooting for Grand Designs. And it was all these signs that came up. And when you really dial into it, universe, show me a sign, give me guidance. Especially when you've got in-flight turbulence and things are a little bit shaky, you can also ask the universe for a sign to just confirm you are on the right path, you are on the right journey, and you will get to your destination. So I hope you like that. This is just how my mind works. I like breaking it down, more for myself than anybody. But yeah, like I say, sometimes I just don't like to be too academic about this. And the reason I say that is because those of you know I have an academic past. My PhD is halfway through and on hold, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I can't think this way. I need to break this down. I need to make this accessible. I need to make this just relevant, so I can always catch myself and think, flights can be turbulent. So let's just all get on with enjoying the journey and stop future tripping about what may or may not happen. Just trust that we're all on the right path. We are always exactly where we're meant to be. And that's all we need to dial into. So I hope this was useful. Thoughts, comments, questions. How has this helped you shape things differently, see things differently, give you an alternative view? I would love to know, and I will see you on here again soon.